Hello and welcome to the round of 8, and wow, we're getting started early. Jonathan Zorline, first car out here for group number 1 of qualifying for the first round of the round of 8, race number 33 on the season. And it'll be the GMAC Chevy for Hendrick Motorsports that they'll bring out this week to try and make the race. And actually, I think they brought the Speedway version, the Super Speedway version of the car. Hold on, this will pause for a moment on screen. There we go. Sorry about that. Zorline, not in the top 43 in the owner's points, so we'll have to make it in on speed here for the 25 car. But they did make it at Bristol, so that was always positive. Axel Casella, car number 80, will race. They are 20th in the owner's points, 339 points up on 30th. This team currently with no plans for the next season, so will be interesting to see if one of the Ford teams approaches them and maybe buys out these points for a car that maybe is running full time before next season. It's always a possibility. It happened before this season where teams switch points, so you never know. Ashley Brock, the 26 Irwin Tools car, one of those teams that could possibly buy the 80s owners points, as the 26 comes into this race 40th in the owners points, 428 points back of 30th in the chase for top 30 for next season for races 2 and 3. Races 2 and 3 next season will go based on this year's points for deciding who's a go-or-go home car, so you never know. We'll have to see how they can do, and right now Ashley Brock going to try and hopefully make this race here at the Joltis Super Speedway. Sorry about that. Allie Nelson on track, the Caterpillar Dodge here. And they hold the elusive 30th spot in the owner's points right now, and you better believe Allie Nelson wants to hold on to that spot so she doesn't have to qualify in on speed for any of these remaining races. And the team would love to hang on to that spot, trying and hoping to be able to run full-time with 2 different cars at least, and running part-time with a third underneath a joint effort with Kirk Shelmerdine to be able to use the owner's points there. So we'll have to see how they can do, and we'll have to see if they can actually get the drivers and all that together for 3 cars next season. Hiroshi Kazuyoshi on track now, the 59 car. Will race 25th in the owner's points with a 153 point lead over 30th. So that's good news for them. This is another one of those teams just like the 80. Currently no plans for next season, so we'll have to see if one of the Chevy teams maybe comes over and buys out the owner's points, or if they just simply sell the owner's points to someone else. Jay Stella bring out the U.S. Army scheme for the first time in a while. What was I going to say about this one? They are not top 43 in the owner's points, so they will have to make it in on speed. Most likely going to have to just qualify in on speed next year too to start the races. So I'll put it this way, what I'm meaning by that is most likely the 01 not going to have any points to go off of for the first 3 races. We'll see. Just kind of depends on what happens and if they buy the points from someone. Amy Shelley advanced to the round of 8, so she still has a chance to make it 2 Shelleys in a row for the title, as all 3 of the Shelleys advanced to the round of 8, no joke, as Shelley goes top of the board now, the 89 car. After the reseed, the 89 is second in the owner's points, the Racing for Jesus Dodge, doing a spectacular job this season for the little bit of funds that they have, in all honesty. Tristan Wilhoit, the U.S. Air Force car, as we've got the Army and the Air Force this week. Will Hoyt will have to qualify in on time. Not even top 43 in the owner's points, but it's looking good right now. Third quickest in the early going. Henry Powers advanced to the round of 8 and currently is third in the owner's points after the reseed for that team. The City Financial Ford currently sits 10th quickest in this session. Ben Neuwirth no longer in title contention, and the team is no longer in owner's title contention, but they currently do sit 13th in the owner's points, which obviously for making the chase is a good news for them, because that means that if they can find the drivers, they will have at least one car that they can guarantee will be locked in for races 2 and 3. Always a good news sign for them. Eric and Rage advanced to the round of 8 as well. So good news for them, as they, I believe, they are the only RCR car that is still in contention. We'll get to that later with Pollard when we get to his car. But they are still contending for the owner's title. 5th in the owner's points after the reseed. Probably is about the same in Cup. I don't know exactly. I'd have to look at that. But currently 26th quickest for the 29 car. They haven't run a lap in the draft, which means this lap right here is going to be quicker for the 29 car. Matt Dixon, the Discount Tire Dodge, 9th quickest right now in this session and is a go home car. 41st in the owner's points, coming in 459 points out of the top 30. So basically a lost cause in terms of trying to get into the top 30 in points. But you never know. The teams are going to still try and fight hard to the end if they can. So let's see how Dixon can do. Sam Curtis currently 15th quickest in this session, 1 minute 14.9. And they will race 137 points ahead of 30th right now with 3 wins on the season for this team. So they've had a spectacular season, if even just being inconsistent, including one of the wins being in the chase here at Texas, that being the most recent win. 3-win campaign, I don't think anyone can ever complain, and Sam Curtis done a spectacular job for a rookie season, in all honesty, even if it won't end in the best ways. So Will Lewis, one of the go home cars, is currently 15th quickest in this session, 1 minute 14.83. 31st in the owner's points, 95 points back of the 22 car, who we showed earlier, the AAA Ford, trying to make the race first and then trying to hopefully get a good run here so that they can try and put their way into the top 30. Currently, only one of the 6 Roush cars are in the top 30 in owner's points, which, in all honesty, even with the idea of what this series is banked on with equal ratings, is a shocker to me. Jim Casella, the 96 car, the DLP Chevy, 24th quickest in this session, 33rd in the owner's points, 330 points back of 30th. Had to make it in on speed, and right now it's not looking promising, let's put it that way. Just ran quickest lap of the session for him though, 20th quickest now for the 96. Like I said though, had to make it in on speed, and probably still looking bleak in terms of the hopes of getting into the top 30 in owner's points for next season. Matthew Marias, just a little bit quicker, 1 minute 14.9, 19th quickest for car 19. They are not even top 30 in the owner's points, as Jake Baskinger to the top of the board, 1 minute 13.856. Marias will have to make it in on speed, and they are going to be a car that will have to qualify in on speed next season most likely. So there's Jake Baskinger, top of the board right now. The Husqvarna Chevrolet for Gibbs Racing, or Joe Gibbs Racing. 35th in the owner's points, 356 points back. They've actually made quite the gains the last few weeks or so. They've been on a roll right now in terms of making races and running well in them. So you never know. It's not out of the question yet, but they're going to need a lot of help to be able to make the top 30 in points right now. None of the Gibbs cars are in the top 30. Henry Sanford just recently got eliminated from the owner's title contention. 10th in points after the reseed for the 31 car, as now RCR down to 2 bullets left for the owner's fight. So I'll have to see how that can go for him. Alex Hawkins, car number 70, the yellow freight Chevy, is 27th quickest in this session. Just ran his quickest lap of the session, too. That's a little bit sad. They are not even top 43 in the owner's points either, so gonna have to make it in on speed here for this race, and most likely looking ahead to next season. So Troy King, car number 60, is 4th quickest right now in this session, and they are still fighting for the owner's title. Currently 6th on that, but they did get eliminated from driver contention for Troy King. But the team's still fighting for something this season, not to mention just the idea of fighting for the best position possible. Fighting for a spot in the Final Four at Talladega in this round, so it's in Joltis. Anything can happen. I think the Chasers all going to know that and look forward to trying to get a win here to basically ease any tension that they have going ahead. Dylan Young is still in contention for the driver's chase and the owner's title. 29th quickest in this session, though. Not going to do him any justice. They are 7th in points after the reseed, tied with Tom Shelley, who you see ahead of him. Jeff James, the unsponsored car this week, one of the 00 Chevy, 16th quickest. They will race, though, 216 points clear of the 30th, clear of 30th in points. So looking good towards next season as the 00 stays with the same team, but will switch manufacturers looking ahead to next season. You see Preston Plord there, 15th quickest for him, and they will race 14th in the owner's points, or not 14th, 18th in the owner's points. And most likely the 04 car will, the team will transfer the points over to the 4 for next season, because the 4 is hoping to be a full-time car, but the 04 only going to run part-time schedule, as Ben Neworth has hit the pit wall back there. That will be a backup car for the 23. Kyle Matthews, the 09 car, is 19th quickest. They will race, though. They are 19th in the owner's points coming into this one. Stephen Pollard, the 3rd, is not on track. There he is, 28th quickest in this session. They will race. Pollard got eliminated from driver's title contention, but the car, the 33, is still in the owner's fight somehow. I don't know how, but they are currently leading the owner's points after the reseed for the round of 8 so they have sole possession of first place now. Mary Shelley, currently 2nd quickest, and is still one of the drivers fighting it out for the driver's title, as Mary Shelley looks to make it 2 titles in a row for her and this car, as the 38 is also still fighting for the owner's title here in season number 4. Like I said, currently 2nd quickest. Cosmic Nova I saw on track, but I didn't actually talk about him. The Nicorette Dodge this week, currently 13th quickest. And the 41 is 43rd in the owner's points, 478 points out of the top 30. So can't make it up in one race, but also looking pretty bleak to try and get into the top 30 anyway in just 4 races. Jessica Shelton I also had seen on track. The Cascadian Farms Dodge is currently 12th quickest in this session, which looks like that would be maybe 4th or so. Yeah, 4th among the Go home cars in this group, so that might be a promising lap time. We'll have to see. They are 39th in the owner's points with this car, looking ahead towards next season. 414 points out of the top 30, as Kyle Matthews blocks the 43 car while trying to just get up to speed. Tom Shelley, currently 25th quickest, but will race. They are one of the cars that's in the owner's chase. And they were Tom Shelley was the last car to actually advance to the round of 8 on points because of, I don't know what it was, but he advanced by less than one position, just 2 points. Kazuyoshi's there. I'm having to speed this up because I just realized that went into standby time. I think I've shown everyone. Kazuyoshi will race 25th in the owner's points. Yeah, it showed the 66. 70 I'd shown. 80 only has one scheme. They will race 20th in the owner's points for the 80. Showed Amy Shelley's car. Showed Powers. And showed Casella. So, unless someone picks up their time extraordinarily well, I think that will do it for qualifying here. Bottom of the board filled up by cars that will race, so that's, I guess, a good sign if you're a Gargo Homer, or maybe a bad sign, I don't know. It depends, I guess, where you're at. As flying laps will not count anymore, the session is complete. Jake Baskinger sets the quickest lap of group number 1, 1 minute 13.856. And Mary Shelley second. Jonathan Zorline second among the Gargo home cars. Stella third among them. Shelton fourth. Nova fifth. Brock was sixth among the Gargo home cars. And Will Hoyt down there in 17th was 7th in this group. I think as you get down into Will Hoyt's time area, that's where you might start to get nervous. Either way, that is it for group number 1. Dylan Young goes slowest in this session, 1 minute 15.7. Either way, that's the end of group number 1. We'll be right back for group number 2. And we are back for group number 2, just waiting for a car to go out there on the track, as Zach Kreller is the currently first one out on pit lane, followed by Charles Jackson, and looks to be maybe the 14 there. Now some cars starting to kind of get out there on pit lane, and Zach Kreller is going to be the first car. Whoops, wrong. I was going to say Zach Kreller is going to be the first car out there onto the track. Oh, that scheme. Okay. Running the Welcome Nextel Home Depot. Oh no, the Loving Memory. Okay. I didn't know that what was on the bumper of this car. Zach Kreller comes in this race 37th in the owner's points, 389 points back of 30th. Right now, the lone bright spot really for this team this season, the couple poles that Kenny Bale has gotten or been able to get, and the one win that Kreller got. I don't even remember what track. I just remember he did get a win this season. Only because then I looked back after saying he didn't have a win at Thornton, and unfortunately my memory was really bad. He had actually won, looked like it was a post Coke 600 win. I just don't remember where. Either way, 37th in owner's points, going to have to make it in on speed, and they're trying to get a car into the top 30 in owner's points if they can. Charles Jackson is the second car on track. They are 12th in the owner's points entering Zen Joltis, as they were eliminated after round number 1 and got reseeded after the reseed got moved up to 12th in points. So always better news, I guess. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Kenny Bale I saw in pit lane, I guess. The FedEx home delivery scheme, one of the rare times they've brought this scheme out here. Will have to make it in on speed. They are the lowest in points of the Joe Gibbs cars, as they're the only Gibbs car not in the top 43 in owner's points. Smart move by Kenny Bale, though. Falls in behind a car that doesn't have to make it in on speed. Gonna try and get the points there. What's on the... Hold on, we got a rare... Okay, I know I don't have the actual... basically ruined any realism of saying we got onboards. I had never seen what was on the back bumper of this car. I needed to see it. Steve Pollard just got eliminated from the drivers and the owners chase, and after the reseed is now 15th in points, for the owners points at least. But that does mean that they will race, and what I was told in the garage area was that the 27 has a deal with Bill Davis Racing to take the points from this car, and the 27 will actually be running the full season anyway, and as a combined effort they will run this car number as a combined effort. 27 gets to keep the points, will be in the first 3 races most likely. Well, at least races 2 and 3. That was a confusing way of putting it. Max Newworth on track, and this car, it's doing terrible. There's no blunt way of putting it. They are next to last in the owner's points coming into this one. 57th of 58. Robert Pollard in the 72, currently not yet set a lap time, but is... Well, they fell to 36th in owner's points, actually, is what I should say. After Bristol and DNQing, they fell to 36 in owner's points, the Dutch quality Stone Chevy. Catching up to the 78 of Ash Curtis, who also DNQ'd at Bristol. And they are coming into this race sub 43 in owner's points as they set their first lap time now of the session. And as typical draft ways will go, Seth Cole, who was trailing the pack, ends up catching him, runs the quickest lap of the session right now. The Bioshock Dodge, 1 minute 14.763. Another one of the... Whoa! Kreller's off the pace. That's even off the pace for by yourself. Get off the track, young man. As I was saying about Seth Cole, though, currently now second quickest. They are a go homer this week. Have to qualify on speed. They are dead last of the cars in owners points, 58 out of 58. See, Dylan Casella, 228 by himself. Zach Kreller, 191, and falling. Kreller, you're not doing yourself any good by being out here. Dylan Casella, the Post-it Ford, another one of the cars really low in owner's points, as now he's going to get affected on this lap by Zach Kreller, who really, really needs to come into the pits, fix whatever's going wrong with that car. And they will not. Great. Final note on Casella. Basically one of the last cars on points. They are 19th quickest right now in this session. Gene Sanford is currently second quickest now, just past... Oh boy. This is going to be a recurring theme in this qualifying session right here with Zach Kreller. I can just tell. Gene Sanford eliminated in the round of 12, but for the driver's points, after they reseeded and everyone after the elimination, Gene moved up to 9th in points, a full race ahead of anyone else in drivers, and the 55 car with their round number 2 moved up to 9th in the owner's points. So bringing dominoes here to Zen Joltis, going to try and maybe break that long winless streak that Gene Sanford has. The longest active winless streak, as this is the first time in a couple of weeks I've actually mentioned it, Pollard. The longest active winless streak in the Coke Vanilla Cup Series currently sitting at 119 races as we enter today. Actually, it should be 120, I think. I haven't even changed that yet. No, I didn't. I haven't even changed that. Whoops. So yeah, 120 races entering today. Mason Neal, currently third quickest in this session, and they will race 21st in the owner's points, 294 points ahead of 30th, looking ahead towards next season, trying to lock their way in, obviously, to races 2 and 3, and give themselves as best a chance as possible of locking into the 500. Daniel Day, currently 19th quickest, and they will race 24th in the owner's points in a car that if they finish the year out top 30, most likely will transfer the points to the 88. Robert Yates already saying that they will not rerun the 28 next season, but they left it open. They did not rule out ever not bringing it back again. Just at least for 1 year, they will not run the 28, so most likely the points would transfer over to the 88. Mason Powers currently now 8th quickest as a group of 4 just passed over the line and went 3 of them up to the top of the board. Powers, another one of the struggling Roush cars, will have to make it in on speed. Theo Stegall kind of running by himself right now, 17th quickest, as Powers jumps up to the top of the board. This is not looking good for a lot of the D&Qs, I'm being honest. A lot of those go home cars from Group 1 might be a little bit more nervous now. Theo Stegall will race. They are 14th in owners points after the reseed. They got eliminated in the round of 12. The Quaker State Menard Chevy, though, is the scheme that they... Or no, sorry, Sylvania Menard scheme is the one they bring this week. Sam Young going back to the Jack Daniel scheme, first time in a while for them. They are 32nd in the owners points, have to make it in on speed, and currently are 20th in this group alone, let alone just looking at the go home speeds. 1 minute 15.3, not going to be a time to cut it, in all honesty. Chris Louvier currently 18th quickest in the Hot Hughes Chevy. Same boat as Sam Young, has to make it in on speed. 2 wins for this 24 car this year, but unfortunately they aren't even top 43 in the owners points. DJ Curtis, the Centrix Chevy, 17th quickest. They will race. They are 26th in owners points, 150 points ahead of 30th. So there is that good news for them. Sky Commons also will race, 19th quickest. They are 17th in owners points, 722 points ahead of 30th. And they just revealed earlier this week that Zach Rogers, a rookie driver, would be piloting the number 10 car next season. So looking for good news out of there, and maybe a new driver for the 19 might be able to bring them up a little bit higher, or Marias might just be able to break out in that sophomore season. Who knows? Chris Washer with a win advanced his way to the round of 8, and actually on points would have advanced his way to the round of 8. Problem is they are 11th in the owners points after the reseed, after being eliminated back in the round of 16 in the owners chase. Currently 24th quickest. Alex Perkle, Bass Pro Shop's car. Is this the all black or the one with stripes at least? Looks like it's the all black based on the nose at least. Yes, it is. The all black number 1, currently 26th quickest. They will race, 22nd in the owners points. Momo Akari, currently 28th quickest. They will race though as well, 28th in the owners points coming in. Talked about Neuwirth. Dylan Thoreau, the Moen Chevrolet, currently 8th quickest, but being held up by the 20 of Zach Kreller. And literally cannot get around him. So that's unfortunate for Thoreau. Thoreau going to have to try and rely that his minute 14 lap time is actually going to be quick enough to make it into the show. As, oh boy, here comes Neuwirth. Look out. Neuwirth's like, I'm going to duck for the pit lane. Same for Dylan Thoreau. And finally, Zach Kreller. Look out, Pollard. Showed Kenny Bale's car. Well, wow. Go to show Patterson's car on track and it's in the pit wall. That is 2 of them at least this weekend that we've seen. Oh boy. Mason Powers and Mason Neal. That's 4. That's 4 to a backup. Theo Stegall's a little bit out there. That's going to be 5. As I was trying to say on Patterson, though, he will have to qualify on speed 38th in the owner's points. But 5 cars now have hit that pit wall and are going to go to a backup car. We showed the 27. Back to the Apex scheme now, though, that they can run all 4 of their schemes. Ish Taylor, the Rick Ware racing car, 10th quickest right now. In this group, they are below 43rd in the owner's points. Will have to make it in on speed, most likely the rest of this season. And that is going to be a different team next season, and not even running all the races either, so, or not planning to run all the races, so probably not really worried about their points position now. Kyle Collins, 27th quickest, will race 16th in the owner's points right now after the reseed. William Duncan on pit lane, the Lowe's Chevrolet, currently 2nd quickest. Eric Powers, the UPS Ford, has to qualify on speed, currently 9th quickest, and in all honesty, we take the top 12, and I thought that there were some times that could have been good in that first group, but the Go Home cars in this group just threw them out of the water, I think. Holy moly. Levi McIntyre still in contention for the driver's chase, and this car now 29th in the owner's points, 33 points clear of 30th. But they are locked in should they actually fall out of the top 30 right now. At least till Homestead they're locked in. So that is that. I have no clue what times are good. I'm just going to guess that the 07's close to the bump spot right now. And is all by himself. Whoa, Casella. Well, this is something that's not helping any of their speeds out. That might be the only group we've got out there on track. Kreller finally is up to speed. I stand corrected. And time hits 0. Flying laps will count. Kenny Bale definitely on the outside looking in. How's it going to do? Loses a little bit of time there off turn 4. No one. Oh. We're already at flying laps. Whoops. Okay, so there's the qualifying. That's it. Who's got the pole? I do not know. I know it's a minute 13.4 because that was the quickest time in both groups, and I'm positive it's a go home car because I'm pretty sure, if my memory is really terrible on this, I'm pretty sure Baskinger was top of group number 1, Powers is top of group number 2. So with that, that is qualifying. Coming up next is the starting lineup for both the actual race and the DNQ race. That said, I'd like to thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time.